Welcome in, welcome in, welcome once again to the newest edition of 3 In, 3 Out, the most unique Seahawks recap show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner, and I am joined by the one, the only, the great Brandon Schultz. And Brandon, sure, maybe, for the folks that might be seeing this for the first time, it's a recap show. Brandon, when do we usually do 3 In, 3 Out? When's that usually happen?
Traditionally, 3 In, 3 Out is reserved for our post-game show, and not right after the game,
right,
but after the next day, after we've had some time to digest, and maybe even Tuesday. But yes, we are recapping a game, and to my knowledge, the Seahawks have yet to play a football game for the 2025 NFL season.
Right. Now, right you are. But do you know what happened, Brandon, along the way? And I thought this was kind of fun. Going to put it right on stage here. Along the way, in our Discord, a member, Rising Hawk, who deserves all the credit, said, hey, give us an off-season 3 In, 3 Out and give us your takes on the OTA and minicamp so far, and basically the off-season, the ins and outs, and what actually matters. So I like getting great suggestions from our flock. Brandon, how about you?
I'm all for it when it comes from our audience on what we should do. I mean, that's why we refer to them as producers, because they are helping to produce the show. That includes coming up with show ideas. Sometimes that also includes supporting the show, like our live executive producer, Ryan911, coming in with a $9.99 super chat saying, in 3i30 off-season content, let's go.
Oh, that's amazing. Good job, Ryan. Our executive live producer, he's here. We're live, he's here. And I do want to give some love also, because I'm pretty sure, but looking at Jason Turner there, I'm pretty sure, Brandon, that Jason is Rising Hawker in our Discord, because it's the same symbol. Can you confirm that we're live?
I feel like it's safe to confirm that. We
Awesome.
may just get confirmation from Jason Turner himself, but I think that he should also claim a producer credit if it is in fact him.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So that is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going over 3 ins, 3 outs, some things that have got me super excited and peaked, some things that got me scratching my head a little bit, being like, I wish this is going a little bit better, and what's been an exciting and really tumultuous, but not in a bad way, off season, a season of change, Brandon. And you mentioned earlier with great support from Ryan. Another way people could support is just, hey, you're out there on YouTube, share it, hit the likes, hit the subscribes, drop a comment. Let's juice that YouTube algorithm. We don't want to be caught in the swoon, the doldrums of the NFL content. The way to combat that is to head out there and make sure you're sharing this, Brandon. So with those things, we got one more thing we got to do, but then we're going to get into 3 ins, 3 outs. And I'm going to ask you a very specific question right after this next break. Cool by you?
Let's do it.
All right. Awesome. Okay. All right, folks, you knew it was coming. So we do got to say hello and thank you to our sponsor, Body Spec. If you're ready to start your fitness journey or kickstart it, whether you're an athlete, a fitness enthusiast, or just getting back in shape, Body Spec has you covered. For less than the price of a haircut, which I recently got, you can access DEXA scans, DEXA, the world's most accurate body composition scans. Body Spec DEXA scans focus on the numbers that actually matter, the ones you're seeing on screen right now, your body composition, bone density, your overall health metrics. It's a truly powerful way to take charge of your own well-being. Well, we had Father's Day coming up. Now we got July 4th. Of course, we're going to celebrate independence in the US of A. Hey, go get yourself a DEXA scan from Body Spec and give yourself the gift of independence. Bodyspec.com/C-Hawkers, bodyspec.com/C-Hawkers. Use the code SHP at checkout for $10 off. That's a little flocker discount. They are a very cool sponsor. We like them a lot. So thank you, Body Spec. All right, Brandon, we are back.
We are back.
We're back.
We are confirmed with Body Spec. We are confirmed with Jason Turner getting the producer credit. And we are also confirmed 33 months with the snail. That's as amazing. A member of our YouTube channel.
Right. Another place you could join us out here on YouTube, or of course on our Discord. And stick around, folks, because we're going to go through the ins, we're going to go through the outs, and we also have a from the flock section, which we do every single 3 in, 3 out, because why not already? Because not only do we get show ideas from the flock, but we also get show content from the flock, but you got to be a member of the Discord to contribute to that. So Brandon, I have one last question for you, Brandon. And it goes a little something like this. Did our Seahawks win? Have we so far won the offseason?
I mean, we didn't lose, so I feel like the only logical conclusion is that we won.
I agree. And I know there's one rule, and if you could help me with it, buddy, I'd be really ecstatic.
Clinton, when our Seahawks win, we start with an in.
We start with an in. Let's get to it, bud. Let's go. Offseason ins, wins, the whole thing. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. Perfect.
Look, you had it queued up to in first. It's almost like you didn't even need my help.
By the way, we got to find the whammy if we can by the next one. It's okay. We didn't discuss this, and it is the off season after all. So, all right. So, Brandon, we're gonna get through these. It's gonna be a lot of fun. The first one I want to bring up, and I want to give you and Adam some love. You guys spent a majority of one of the flagships recently, and this was the biggest point you guys made. Is for me the biggest end of the season so far, the off season and CTAs, OTAs, and the minicamp was the interview with Abe at the podium, Brandon. And I know so I'll ask you to recount it. I put it in as, hey, when Abe talks, I'm going to listen. Can you recall for the flock, what was the big thing that Abe was like, hey, this is who we are. This is what we're going to do this year. Can you recapture that for the flock?
It very much had to do with running the football, and not just that they were going to be okay at it or that they're going to try. It was non-negotiable. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, concise recap. And, Abe was able to give a bit more detail. He talked a little bit about, look, this is what Kubiak does. And this is why we now have fullbacks on the field. We're deploying fullbacks, and this is who we're going to be. Not in the cute way, not in the sporadic way that we saw with Grubb, but that this is going to be a core component to who this team is. So Brandon, the biggest in, I don't always do this. The first in doesn't mean it's best or anything like that weighted wise, but to me, the most indicative and most important in is that our right tackle, who's healthy, got up on stage and said, yeah, we're going to run the friggin' football. I'm going to do it consistently. And it's going to be what we're known for. I know it got you fired up, but hearing it again, anything else you want to add to it or a few weeks removed from it, that you've had a little time to simmer with it now, that's making you feel as we do hit this little downtime in the NFL season.
Well, I think it's kind of important to notice or to note that this might not just be Abe speaking for the team. I think you started to get to some of the other components that fill into this too. It's part of it is that switch from the previous offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb to Clint Kubiak. Part of it is that, hey, in addition to running the football, we're doing it with a fullback. And so we went out and we decided that Brady Russell, he's going to be switching from tight end to playing fullback. They draft Robbie Oots, and we got Stuart S in the chat saying Oots is the bomb.
Yes.
So I feel like just based on how poorly they did with running the football last year with the Seahawks, and despite the messaging that we constantly heard from Mike McDonald, I think the entire fan base is kind of surrounding this idea of, okay, this is an identity that I think we can get behind, because that's what the last time we had a Super Bowl roster, and the last couple times, it was having a solid defense or a dominant defense in the case of the Legion of Boom, and then having a run game that really balances out that offensive attack.
Yeah, you said it very well. I know Marshawn Lynch is up again to be considered for the Hall of Fame this year. And like you said, man, to get back to that kind of offense, or even in, 2015 when Rawls had to give a nice spell there and was really excellent in his stint with Seattle before he got injured. And then Chris Carson. I mean, it didn't just like stop with Lynch when we won the Super Bowl. That was kind of the highest pitch and the biggest moments, but It was a pretty consistent factor for a while. Then it really faded away. And I'm extremely excited to get back to this as our core competency. It will blend very nicely with what Sam Darnold does well under center, a lot of play action, the boots, the digs. Man, I think it's going to open things up. So that's my first in, Brandon. I know we got 5 more. You know, a little foreshadowing.
I do have some good news before we go on to the next one, because I know it's kind of going to be a downer because we're going from in to out.
Yes.
I checked in my drawer. The whammy was right here.
Oh my gosh. Well, then you know what to do, my man. Hit that whammy. There it is. All right. Well, you know, we are on to the outs. And again, if you've never been part of a 3 in 3 out, we do this as a recap show. We call it the most unique recap show in the multiverse during the regular season and sometimes postseason. And, you know, we'll have video highlights and all that. So you get to look forward to that. But this is the format. We go back and forth with these little nooks and crannies. So the next one I got on screen here, Brendan, is out number 1. Where's my dog? Where's the D-O-double-G? Where's the dog? Do you know who I'm talking about when I say, where's the dog?
Do we not have enough people on the team with thigh-like arms?
No, that's improving, I would say, by the way.
Oh,
I mean, just there's a couple of people that are really showing me their thigh arms. They're really, or at least their quad arms, which are really starting to show out. We'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. This for me is, I'm a little bit more worried about K9's future with our Seattle Seahawks. And he missed, right? Basically all the volunteer stuff. He missed minicamp and they just, it's an ankle. He'll be back. It's an ankle. He'll be back. I don't know. Something isn't sitting right for me, Brandon, with a little bit of where there's smoke, there's fire. And I know everybody knows K9 is extremely talented. And I think he's the best back on the team. He has not been extremely reliable in terms of health. He hasn't been. He's missed a lot of games. And then he's, inconspicuously out again with it. Oh, it's just an ankle. Misses all this time. I smell a little something here and I don't love it. For me, it's a bit of a mystery that I don't want to actually solve. I want him to be healthy and be part of this. But I've got this sneaking suspicion we might, we could enter this year where there's some move and they're kind of protecting K9 and putting him in a bit of bubble wrap. I don't know. It's a little too fishy for me, Brandon. And I want him out there. He's not out there yet. What do you think?
I want him out there. I want him at practice in May and June.
That'd be cool.
Okay, what is K9 going to be doing in May and June that he doesn't already know within the offense? This is, and the snail, you're part of this too. Rashad Penny level. No. This is by no means Rashad Penny level. Like, he's played of all the guys that have played running back since he was drafted. He's in like the top 15 of guys starting at running back, a demanding position that sometimes dudes get injured.
Yeah.
And he's still like top 20 in starts. So,
and I love him. I love K9. He's one of my favorites. It's a little bit
learning
less
a brand new offense. The snail chiming in here.
Yes.
You can do that without being on the field. Like, all you have to do is study.
For sure, but it'd be a heck of a lot.
And how different is running left, running straight, running right?
Well,
how does that change from offense to offense? He's run zone blocking schemes.
Yeah.
He's run gap schemes. He's a veteran at this point.
Yes, he's run all the different schemes.
Stop with the nonsense.
The predominantly wide zone, or just the whatever coach had called it in one of our episodes. But anything out there, the sweep zone patterns, I would still like him to be out there. And it's less about the practice and the reps. It's like, oh, I want him there for my feelings. I get a sneaking suspicion he might be on the block still, because again, there was smoke around that, and he is coming up in a situation where if he plays this year and Seattle is just like, well, we're not going to resign him. Let's say he has a good year, not a, stellar year where it's like, we have to resign him. And maybe Seattle feels like they have enough running backs in the stable, and now is the time to make a move. They can maybe go get some draft pick for him. and not have to think about resigning an expensive running back and just replace that with younger people. I don't like that scenario. I think K9's a special back. That's actually more what's concerning me versus just I want him out there. I think some stuff might be afoot, man. Just a sneaking suspicion. Hopefully I'm wrong, but
you're wrong. It's fine. He's not getting traded. He's not going anywhere. If a team was silly enough to give up a high draft pick for him going into the draft, then maybe the Seahawks change up how they do things. But they have plenty of depth at running back now, and I don't see pick out a running back needy team that would be willing to give up a fourth.
Vegas Raiders. Raiders all day. Pete would give up a second because
they just drafted Ashton Genty.
I know as a rookie, I get it, but they would still pair him with K9 and be like, okay, we're going to give Genty a less of a workload and have these two dudes. Carroll would salivate to go get K9 there. And they were like,
gave up a third for Gino. He's not giving up a fourth for K9. Come on now.
He may. All right, look, we got others to get to. So if you think you hate it now, wait till you drive it, hit that whammy. Let's go. All right, on the screen in number 2, Sam Darnold stinks, right? We heard from different pundits and different folks who some of them I respect a lot, who are there on the ground day in, day out, doing really cool work and at the VMAC. And man, I wish I lived in the PNW because I'd finagle my way into that as well, but I don't. So alas, but we got this whole kind of, Sam's had a rough go and Sam's had a rough start, and I have it as an in. So Brandon, why do you think I would put up? Do you have a guess? So what would in number 2 be? Sam Darnold stinks. What would get me excited about that? Any guesses?
Jalen Milroe being waiting in the wings.
No, I'm not good guess. I'm not a Jalen Milroe to start this year guy. I hope it's another year or two. I am a big Jalen Milroe for Taysom Hill, president there and doing all the 4th down stuff and doing all the red zone stuff and the deep purple black zone stuff. I would love a lot of Jalen Milroe to make the team very special. I think it's going to happen because that's what Kubiak wants to do. And I think Mike wants to do that too and become multiple on the offensive side. No, it's because in the OTAs and the minicamp, the first team offense led by Sam Darnold did not throw one touchdown within that week. They didn't throw one touchdown. So Brandon, who on the other side of the ball must be doing one heck of a job if Sam Darnold stinks, he's not throwing touchdowns? What part of the team is probably showing out if that's actually happening?
Yeah, I think Ryan 911 in the chat has it on lockdown here. The defense is playing good.
Yeah, the defense is playing good. And it a little bit, one great job, by the way, to our executive live producer, as always. One more click down from that is the DB room and linebackers, but the DB room is probably playing pretty special ball already because you're sitting in scenarios where, like you said about K9, it's a little bit faux football, a little flaggy type football. You're throwing the ball a lot, right? You're throwing the ball a lot, you're throwing the ball often. You're not practicing that many run plays where like you're challenging the DBs and stuff like that. So between Spoon, between Love, between even Wari being bounced around, it's a deep room. It's a fun room. Job has been playing well. And there's that like tertiary guys that are right there, like nipping at heels. It's exciting to me. I think it's one of the stronger parts of our defense. And I think our defense is the strongest part of the team. So if Sam Darnold stinks, and I know he does not because I watched football last year and other years, then something else is happening that we can celebrate. So for me, Brandon, I'm pretty excited about this DB room, dude.
I like that. You are going to take the negative side of the coin, flip it over, and see the positive. That's just what you do.
It is. All right. So let's keep on marching. Hit that thing. We got another out. Out number 2. Just gonna coin this one.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, I don't believe you. By the way, I feel like this should become a segment. We should always have an I don't believe you because I think it's great. So I have an I don't believe you. And this one pains me a little bit, hence it's why it's on the outside. So a lot of the stuff that I could get from OTAs and minicamp is not exactly what's happening on the field. That's fine. You hear the people that are there talk about it. You can glean a little bit from it, but it's typically stuff that's happening at the podiums when the players talk, when the coaches talk, and you could listen and try to see, can you read some tea leaves? Are there little clues they're leaving out there? So there's something I want to be very, very true. I wish it were true, but I don't believe it. So the thing that we heard from Byron Murphy when he maybe like halfway through, whatever it was sometime, a couple of weeks ago now, and he gets up and he's talking to whomever, and he's like, yeah, coaches and AD basically told me I'm going to get a chance to play more 3-tech this year. And I'm going to get a chance to, pin the ears back and go after the quarterback more, and basically less nose, more 3 techniques. So less 0 and 1, which means directly over the center or just shaded, in the gap of the center. And that means, scooch over a bit more, where Leonard Williams typically dominates. Jaron Reed has dominated for many years. My problem with this is I need to see that the Seahawks actually allow this. I think Murphy is exceptionally talented when he's allowed to go do this. I know it's only 1 year, but I don't think we solved their nose tackle problem. And I don't think there's anybody who can take up space and take on 2 dudes with his base and his strength like Murphy can. So I think he's going to be a little bit more relegated to a role that he actually doesn't want to do and play 0-1 tech and get less opportunity than I think he's being promised. I'm a little afraid of that friction, Brandon. I don't like it. I wish he was going to get a chance, but I don't believe it. What do you think?
So you think that the general manager of our team, John Schneider, he's solidified the roster 100%, and it's good. They're not going to look in any other directions once training camp rolls around. Along the defensive line, they're good. And like Hankins is going to be the nose along with Byron Murphy come week 1 of the season.
Maybe. It's a possibility, and Hankins is obviously getting way up there. He's been around for many years now. And while he was okay last year, I don't think he was as good as Cowboy fans who told me what we were getting, who I've got a couple of, I think we all do, we all got friends who were Cowboys friends. Like, no, you're going to love Hankins. He's a space eater. He's really, really solid. I was like, okay, he was good. And he was also dinged a bit too. I hope they make a move still to free up Murphy, but until they do, I don't think they have a better option at nose. I mean, I asked you, I never give you like what I'm going to say for ins and outs, but I did say, hey, look up some of the other names on their current roster. It was like Brandon Peely's of the world, and there's some others. I don't see other options that are going to prevent Murphy from having a lot of snaps at nose, man.
Oh no, it's Jonathan Hankins, or if you're asking Jaron Reed to move into that spot, I think that to me it's the one area, and that's why I pointed toward John Schneider as being the guy that has some control over this. When did they get Hankins? It was last year during, toward the start of training camp, and I just don't think that they will be settled, and maybe it has to do with Hankins and his health going into the start of the training camp. But I see that as an area where generally you find veteran guys and they don't cost a lot of money to play that run stuffing type role.
Yep. That has been the pattern in the past. Seattle's done it. Some of my favorite Seahawks have come through, like Al Woods in that kind of way.
Bring back Al Woods.
I'm sure his arms have not gotten smaller. Let's put it that way, right? So his thigh arms are probably still blazing out there. It's just a concern. I think Murphy can be Bunny's pointing it out on screen here. Great comment saying, I really don't want Byron to get parked at nose tackle again. His 3-tech production was elite. Goes on to say a few other things. Bunny's exactly right that the stats are what the stats are. I think it was Nemhauser did a nice breakdown of this where he compared the percentage of snaps at 3-tech, and Murphy was just as good as Brandon Fisk when it came to like percentage of getting pressure. It's just that Fisk got to do it like 2x, 3x more times as with the Rams, the stupid Rams. And so he's showing that he's absolutely elite when he gets to go do it. I would really love to find a way to get him to do more of it. And it's already a crowded house. You already have really good dudes who are solid 3-tech guys. And it's seemingly getting more crowded. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's like week 8, week 9, and Murphy's legitimately getting, I don't know. There's no number in my brain, but it's kind of like, when you feel it and you'll see it out there, and we could revisit it and be like, yeah, he's getting all the opportunities and he's killing it. I'm just worried it's going to be another year before that might be the reality. And I'm a little impatient because I think Murphy's elite. Okay. That is that one for me. And that's my.
So we're just going to gloss over the fact that you gave my name to a Rams player who's named Braden and not Brandon. That's a little offensive to me.
Is it Braden Fisk? All right, whatever. It's Jared.
It matters to me when it's my name.
Well, you don't even spell your name right. All right, hit the whammy, bud. Brandon, what season is it?
Oh, it's best shape of his life season. It's the key talking point of almost every team in the NFL with regard to any top player.
Yeah. Well, not
or bottom level player.
Right. So I think what is it? The Who sang, we won't be fooled again. But here I stand on whatever it is, June 24th, and I might be fooled again. And in this case, I might be fooled, and I'm into believing. It's like I'm like Mulder Fox over here. It's like I want to believe this one to be true. I'm hearing and seeing, hey, Anthony Bradford has reshaped his body. They're talking about it like, hey, he did the work. He came in. He's still as powerful. That's not his problem. Power is not his problem. Dude's really powerful. And they're like, he's a heck of a lot quicker out of his stance. He's looking more mobile. He's looking leaner, but yet still as powerful as he was. And I don't know who's going to win the right guard position. So in general, if it's Christian Haynes, if it's Laumea, if it's Sundell, if he's not playing center, I don't know. But I like the fact, Brandon, that there seems to be a marked difference in his body going into this year. And maybe that's the thing that, brings Bradford from below par to like maybe a par to maybe even a plus right guard. I'm drinking a lot of Kool-Aid, Brandon. What flavor would you like me to mix for you, bud?
Yeah, that's a question I'd almost like to throw out to chat is which Kool-Aid are you drinking with regard to best shape of his life? Because we see Cooper Kupp out there running around and being talked about best shape of his life. Strangely, we don't hear about Jake Bobo ever being in the best shape of his life. I don't know what's up with that, but it does remind me, going back to the Kenneth Walker discussion, we saw him walking around jacked and carrying like, I don't know, 800 pounds of weights out on the field. I don't feel like you do that with a bum ankle.
Yeah, probably can't, or should. Maybe that's how he got his ankle hurt. We don't know. But yeah, but I feel I fall victim to this, man. I do. It was just intriguing to me that for this one, that Bradford, because he shows these pockets of absolute dominance. Like, okay, he's a bigger man than you who will maul you. And in the run game, when he gets his mitts on you, he could be very, very good. It's just that a lot of times last year, he doesn't get there. He's looking around. He doesn't really seem to know who to engage. And sometimes he's a bit of a turnstile. It's like, so if the athleticism got unlocked a little bit, maybe he's our right guard, because we're not hearing that much about Christian Haynes. I know it's early. He's going to get his competition. He's going to get his snaps, but it seems to be, it's still like anybody's guess who's going to take right guard. So I guess I'm a little excited that Bradford might have, frankly, dropped a few pounds.
I will put more money on Anthony Bradford taking the leap and taking the starting right guard job than some of the nonsense I hear about Bryce Cable dude looking pretty good. Like that, I don't buy that for a minute.
People are, hey, look, I will subscribe to any of the options that get us a competent right guard or a plus right guard will be my favorite option. With that, McDonald was on record. He was asked in some of the pressers, hey, are you trying to dial in your starting five a lot sooner than you did last year, because that took forever. And then Connor Williams couldn't snap the ball properly and had to leave the NFL. And McDonald was like, yeah, he's like, we really want to get this locked in basically sometime maybe in late July or early August. Well, I think a lot of work still has to happen. A lot of competition still has to happen to figure that out at right guard. I don't care how it happens, but I do want the best, obviously the best one to emerge. But I hear you. I hear what you're saying about, which one's more probable, and saying Bradford over Cable do for you. I get it, man. Any other pieces? So I like Bunny's comment there, man. I know you're about to read it, I think.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp at right guard. I'm going to say that as good of a blocker as he is at wide receiver, I don't think he'd hold up at right guard. That's just
maybe not, but we got those bunch formations where he'll be blocking quite a bit. You mentioned Bobo earlier. I'm excited for some formations that are like Kupp, Bobo, 2 tight ends, and then we're just and a fullback. I'm not sure if that's even going to add up, but who cares? It's all good. All right, we got one more out.
More 22 personnel for Clinton.
Yes, I love a little 22 personnel, and I also love a whammy. Let's do it. Okay, last OTA minicamp out, and this one's just simply seriously like what? This has nothing to do with, I'm going to give a little clue, a little breadcrumb here. Brandon, this has absolutely nothing to do with the 2025 Seahawks, but there was an egregious thing that happened pretty recently about one of the best Seahawks of all time. So it's an automatic out for me. Seriously, what? Do you know who I'm talking about?
One of the greatest Seahawks of all time.
Yes.
And it made you say, seriously, what?
Seriously? What?
Is this like Marshawn not getting into the Hall of Fame?
No, that's egregious. He should be first ballot, and hopefully he'll be second ballot. So I'll give it away. The NFL recently had their, whatever it is, the quarter century team, the 25-year team.
Oh.
And they left Walter Jones off of the team, and they put Joe Thomas and what's his name from the Niners? Trent Williams.
Trent Williams. Okay.
Yeah. And look, Joe Thomas is a clear Hall of Famer, and Trent Williams is going to be a Hall of Famer, and he's a darn good left tackle. To not have Walter Jones as one of the 2 best left tackles of the last 25 years, it's ridiculously bad. He might be the best left tackle of all time, period. And that's not homerism. He's just that good. And, it's not like Joe Thomas and the Browns. Hey, Brandon, how many Super Bowls did Joe Thomas and the Browns win?
Absolutely 0.
Absolutely 0. Okay. How many did Trent Williams?
I don't know if Joe Thomas won a playoff game in his career.
I'm not sure exactly. How many times did they make the playoffs? How about Trent Williams? How many Super Bowls did Trent Williams lose in his career?
Plenty. Well, at least a couple with the 49ers.
At least 2, right? At least 2. So it's not some Super Bowl bias. Maybe
Walter Jones never lost 2 Super Bowls. I'll tell you that much.
That's true. That's very true. So it's just egregious. And maybe it's not our 2025 Seahawks, but it is the last 25 years of our Seahawks. And you just don't do Big Walt like that. You just never do that. It should never, ever happen. The dude is an upper echelon Hall of Famer, and it's a stupid mistake. And I needed to call it out, Brandon.
Did we get kind of hosed a bit here because his career straddled like the 90s and the start of the 2000s?
I mean, they put Steve Hutchinson on the best 25.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's messed up.
So, and maybe Hutchinson is one of the better guards or best guards, but
this is a list I have not paid a ton of attention to. Who of our Seahawks is that? Other than Steve, did anybody else make it?
Yeah, there was a couple. People
I'm guessing LOB members made it.
Yeah, Cam. I don't think it was Cam though. I think it was Earl and Sherm, and I think Bobby.
Bobby probably should be on there, considering he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he probably should be. But I forget exactly who else might have been on there. I think that was about it. It was 5, including Hutch. But I'm sure somebody has has it all. And the snail saying Marcus Trufant.
We need to work on getting him in the Ring of Honor before we work on
right?
getting him in quarter century lists.
Yeah, he's definitely a good Seahawks. So I think everybody's a big True fan. All right, so Brandon, not only when we win the offseason do we start with an in, but we made a small adjustment many years ago now. This is probably like year 5 ago now, that not only did we start with an in, but we don't want to end with an out. We get one more in, but Brandon, it's yours. We call it the Brandon with your real life picture there. It's your turn to serve one up. I don't know what you're going to tell me and tell the flock and tell the world. What is your Brandon for OTAs and minicamp for our Seahawks?
I'm glad we got my completely current headshot up there as well. The name, not spelled correctly, but I think that's a focus for this portion of the show, so it's acceptable. At least it doesn't say Braden. That's positive. All right. My Brandon for this offseason, I'm going to go back, Clinton, and talk a little bit of Cooper Kupp, because one of the moves that I was the least biggest fan of was moving on from DK Metcalf. But one way that I think that they resolved some of that veteran leadership in the locker room after trading away DK was bringing in Cooper Kupp. And I think that I initially it's a little bit tough to get behind this move because he was formerly a Los Angeles Ram, but got to give a little credit to the Seahawks social media team too for helping pull some of us along in that they had Cooper Kupp in one of the Seahawks team stores, and he's looking up on the wall, and there's his Kupp jersey, and he's saying, hey, this is a full circle moment for me. Of course, being a Washington State resident and seeing all these Seahawks jerseys, now he's seeing his name on a Seahawks jersey up on the wall. It's starting to pull me in, get me fired up, and so that, in combination with the Seahawks locker room component, in combination with him being a really, really good wide receiver, Cooper Kupp, my Brandon for the offseason.
Well, I love it. And what I really like about it is that one of the things about the Cooper Kupp signing that I'm most excited about is, look, last year it's like, okay, he's starting to diminish a little bit, maybe, right? He's been obviously ankle injuries and a little less action, less receptions, less yards per reception, et cetera, et cetera. But an area that continually shines for Cooper Kupp is his red zone production. He's still super savvy, great hands, knows how to get open and short area. And that has been kind of bugging us the last couple of years. And Cooper Kupp knows how to haul in touchdowns in the red zone. And you pair that with what I think we're going to do with Milroe. You pair that with the evolution of AJ Barner, who had a very nice red zone year last year, and some other tight ends that might be in the mix, of course. And the fact that we're going to be running the ball hopefully a lot better. I think one of the areas where we're going to get substantially better and see a lot of improvement, maybe most improved, is the red zone. So Brandon, your Brandon makes me get excited about what's to come in the red zone. And many times I think led by Cooper Kupp, either receiving the ball or doing a key block when he's doing something in line as a savvy veteran. That gets me jazzed, dude.
Yeah, because you know what helps you win games? It's points. And you score those points inside the red zone. It's basic football, people.
It's basic football. I love it. All right. So another basic thing, Brandon, we're going to get to from the flock. But if folks are like, how do I become a member of the flock? How do I unlock this beautiful key? Well, why don't you tell folks out there that they don't know our show quite yet? How could they become part of who we are?
Getintheflock.com, www.getintheflock.com. If you really want to, go all in, you got to throw in the 3 W's. You throw in your $3 and above, you get into our Discord, you chat with all these names I recognize. We've got Ryan 911 in the Discord. We've got the snails there. We've got Bunny's there.
Bunny, yeah.
And so many people. And you got to get there. Getintheflock.com. And we hope to see you there.
Yeah, that's going to be great. So, and every 3 and 3 out, we have a section that we call From the Flock. So, hey, look, we win, we start with an in, we get the bonus brand in. Every show, win, lose, or draw, we do From the Flock because we got to honor it. So, we got Hawk Van Dyke, who is, of course, Bloomy with the first one. Brand, you want to take this first one from Bloomy? Because it's kind of what you were just talking about with Cooper Kupp a little bit.
Yeah, the Hawks and their social media guy, because they've been putting out some videos, and that's what Bloomy's saying here. The videos the team has been putting out have been creative, funny, and have given us a great glimpse of the team's personality. So I think that's one of the things that helps get you through the offseason. You're like, hey, I love this team, but do I love some of these new guys? And if you're following on social media, you go, yeah, because I'm seeing Cooper Kupp looking at his jersey. I'm seeing Leonard Williams do a choreographed dance with the cheerleaders, and just looking like he could be on the cheer squad if he decided to ultimately retire and decide to do that. I'm not advocating it, but it could happen.
I kind of love where that went, right? So a little dancing with the subpars, why not? But love that from Bloomy. And hey, stick around, because after From the Flock, Brandon, you don't even know about this. I have another video queued up. People have been talking about Robbie Oots this entire time. Stick around, because after From the Flock, I got a little hype video that I did for Robbie Oots that I didn't know what to do with. I've never even shown it to you, but we'll just premiere it live.
Wait. Robbie Oots has a hype video?
Robbie Oots has a hype video. And not only that, I created it. So stick around. We'll get to it at the very end. Like I said, I didn't even tell you. I was like, well, I did it like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this, but it just feels right at this point that it should be out in the world. So I have it queued up. You can probably see it down there in StreamYard, Brandon, and I will play that in a bit. But we got more From the Flock to get to. So we got Bunny. Bunny's here with us live, doing a great job, and there he is on screen there. He's on screen twice. This is like Inception. He goes, okay, I've got rose-colored glasses take on something that does bother me a bit, but I'm taking the optimistic angle on it. In to the dumb effing national media treating us like hot garbage. You know, why and in? Well, Coach Mike McDonald has assembled a locker room of players with something to prove. Chips on their shoulders, and to the national media, they're just feeding us bulletin board material. And I think Bunny really, really enjoys that. And he finishes Brandon with the new 3-word phrase we heard from Milrow: belt to ass.
That reminds me, I think I still need to get that emote available in our Discord. I think Bunny sent that to me. So
perfect.
We've got Josh DeHuman with an in, the reforming of the offensive coaching staff. One cannot underestimate the impact this very well may have on our team for years to come. Veteran coaches with years of experience, a proven system, young minds brought up in the system, coaches who have worked together, so there's already the consistency there within the staff, coaches who have worked with several of the new offensive players. It brings me optimism that in a couple of years' time, we could have a very good offense to go with our top 10 defense.
Love this from Josh.
Misspelled top 2 defense, but that's fine.
That's funny. Love it from Josh, because he's a perpetual optimist and one of the most active members of our Discord too. And he's also been on the case of like, hey, the reformation from Kubiak and with the offensive line coach.
That guy.
Benton. Sorry. It's been a couple of weeks since I did a pod, folks. John Benton. And just how much, like, look what they got out of New Orleans last year with a bit of like a scrap heap of dudes that had their best season by far and were still competitive with a really underwhelming, lackluster offense. And they were still competitive in a lot of games. And Josh has been super consistent about that. So appreciate that from you, Josh. Always appreciate Car. She's great. Carly out there. She goes out, which is okay. It's her right? Out. As excited as I am for the defense and the exciting draft picks going into the season with no DK, no Geno, and especially no Lockett — she loves Tyler Lockett — has definitely affected my enthusiasm. I feel like we have our QB of the future, and I cannot wait to see Milrow take over in the next year or two. She had a third one that was heavy on the expletive, and I just I don't think I could put that out there live. I saw it, car. I loved it, and that's also why I should be a member of the Discord.
There you go. Be a little teaser for the Discord. You can unlock Carly's offensive comments, and it's not really offensive. It just has language.
Yes.
All right. Next up, we've got Bunny bringing in players with hard work ethics. For example, I want to see Kupp contribute on the field. Even more than that, I want to see him help build Mo Bobo from a meme into a serious wide receiver. It seems like there is a who can work harder contest going on at the VMAC.
Yeah, love that. Good stuff from Bunny. There was a little bit of talk, and it's like I liked DK Metcalf as a Seahawk. I liked him a lot, but there was a little bit of okay, well, maybe he just wasn't fully in it last year. And then he went on the Get Got pod and basically said, look, there was a line of demarcation for him and Locke where they didn't feel like their participation,
because he had a nonsense offensive coordinator for the last 3 years.
I agree. I'm with you 100%. And
I'm gonna miss DK. I'm gonna miss Tyler. Yeah. I'm definitely missing Bobby. I think even though there's just some guys you need to let finish their career on the team, but yeah,
but
I'm never gonna get over that.
No, I understand. The snail. Thank you, man. Saying in to the Seahawks podcast, the Seahawkers podcast. That's us for keeping content coming during the slow time during the off season. We appreciate it. It's fun to do this. And, if you know us by now, which I know y'all do, we like to come up with, more unique ways to slice this and talk about some fun stuff, which is really cool. You got one from Carly there?
Carly getting the live look and loving how her language got her comment banned live. She didn't even realize she swore in that one.
That's okay. It's all good. Yeah, you go back in there. It's just a crime of passion, as they
she
call
was
it.
Very excited about the defense, and that was, I think, the extent of it.
Yeah, really, really, really big time excited, which we love too. And I know others out there are very excited for this Oots video that I've been teasing, Brandon. So I might as well throw it up on screen. Hey, I think it's going to play with volume. I'd say put your volume up. Enjoy. It's about a minute and maybe 30 seconds long. Brandon, ready for this debut?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oots, oots, oots. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, I hate soccer, yes.
Oh my.
With the 175th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Bobby. I don't hate you, Bobby.
You did that?
I did. I did that a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this thing. I don't know. So, but yeah, I was tooling around on with CapCut, and I was like, let me figure out how to do these things. But I did that. Yeah. What'd you think?
It's got to be the greatest Robbie Oots hype video of all time.
I can't wait for Oots to throw because on Twitter and the Discord, whenever he just throws a block, that thing's getting played a lot. So we'll get it out there. We'll get the link out there for at least in the Discord. Probably throw it up on YouTube too. So folks,
it was so good. It was it gave me my first live leg cramp during the podcast.
Oh dear Lord. Well, take magnesium, drink some salt water. I don't know.
Have a banana.
Get some potassium in you. One of those three things will work, because I think one of the three things we did today certainly worked, because we got a chance to talk about the ins and outs of our Seahawks in the middle of June, and that is a good thing, Brandon.
And I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.